What if I told you that one single sentence, just a few words said at the right time, could make a woman instantly feel drawn to you, not because of how you look, not because of your job, but what you said touched something deep inside her, something emotional, something real. What if you could speak in a way that makes her stop, smile, and look at you differently without trying to impress her or prove anything? The 6 phrases I'm going to share with you today aren't tricks. They're powerful tools. These words are based on psychology, emotion, and how people truly connect. When you say them the right way, they spark something inside her: curiosity, interest, and emotional connection. They flip the usual story. Instead of you chasing her, something inside her starts to move toward you. You see, when you understand how women feel and connect emotionally, and you speak in a way that reaches that emotional center, you no longer have to chase. She begins to see something rare in you, something worth holding on to. These phrases stay in her mind long after the conversation ends. Before we dive in, do something important. Hit that subscribe button. By doing that, you're not only helping yourself grow, you're helping this message reach men around the world who are tired of feeling ignored, tired of being stuck in the friend zone, tired of not being seen for who they really are. Your support helps this channel grow, and when we grow, we help more men build better lives, including yours. Now, let's get into the words that touch her heart, even before she understands why. Phrase 1. You have a unique way about you. I like that. Most men try to get a woman's attention by complimenting how she looks. They say things like, "You're really beautiful," or "You look amazing tonight." And sure, those compliments sound nice, but women hear them all the time. It's not that women don't like kind words. They do. But many of those compliments feel empty, like they've been said 100 times before. They don't feel personal. They don't spark emotion. But then, there's this one simple line: "You have a unique way about you. I like that." Suddenly, everything changes. This phrase is powerful because it doesn't just give attention, it gives recognition. And that's what many women truly want. Not just to be seen, but to be understood. It's a soft, mysterious sentence. It makes her stop and think. What does he mean? What part of me stood out to him? Maybe it was the way she laughed. Maybe it was the way she told a story, or how she spoke with passion about something she loves. This is where her mind starts to work, trying to figure out what you saw in her that was different. That's where the emotional connection begins, not through showing off, not through flirting, but through curiosity and mystery. You're not giving her all the answers, you're giving her a glimpse, and that makes her want to know more about what you see and about you. Now, let's look at how to say this line correctly. Don't use it just to sound interesting. Use it when a real moment happens, when she opens up about something personal, or laughs in a way that's completely her own, or tells a story that shows who she really is. In that moment, you pause. Let the moment be quiet for just a second. Look at her with calm, steady energy. Then, slowly and simply, say the words, "You have a unique way about you. I like that." Your tone is everything. Say it like you've just noticed something rare, like you just discovered something important. Please don't say it too fast. Don't explain it too much. The power of this line is in how quiet and natural it feels. You're not trying to charm her. You're seeing her, and that's rare. Because here's the truth, most men don't know. Many women feel emotionally unseen. People may notice how they look, but very few take the time to notice how they think, how they laugh, or what lights them up when they speak. That's where this line works deeply. You're saying, I notice something special in you that others don't. And the best part? When she feels seen in that way, she will want to open up more. She'll tell you more stories. She'll want to show you more of who she is. And over time, she'll begin to connect the feeling of being seen with you. That emotional bond will be stronger than any pickup line, compliment, or attempt to impress. So, yes, use this phrase, but only when it feels real. Say it with the calm confidence of a man who pays attention to what really matters. That moment will stay with her, and so will you. Phrase 2. I like women who know what they want. This is one of the most underestimated phrases a man can say. On the surface, it sounds like a compliment, but at its core, it's something far more powerful. It's a quiet challenge, a standard, a filter. Most guys, especially when they're attracted to a woman, instinctively try to gain her approval. They say things they think she wants to hear. They agree too quickly. They smile too much. They try too hard to impress her, hoping that if they're sweet, smart, or funny enough, she'll choose them. But what that does, without them realizing it, is it shifts the energy. Now she's the prize, and he's the one chasing. He's auditioning. He's proving himself. And whether women are fully aware of it or not, that energy becomes predictable and eventually boring. But when you look a woman in the eye, calm, composed, and confident, and you say, I like women who know what they want, everything changes. You're no longer seeking her validation. You're not trying to win her over. You're stating a preference, a standard. And that subtly shifts the conversation from, am I good enough for her? To, is she what I'm looking for? It's a small pivot with a huge impact because now she's the one who qualifies herself for you. She starts wondering, do I seem confident to him? Do I come across as if I know what I want? Am I meeting his standard? That internal questioning is exactly what builds attraction on a deeper level. Not only are you seen as selective, but you're also reinforcing a message she doesn't hear often. You're not available to just anyone. And here's the psychology behind why this hits so well. Women deeply admire men who have clarity. Clarity of mind, clarity of purpose, and clarity in their values. When you say, I like women who know what they want, you're revealing your attraction to clarity in others, which reflects the clarity you have in yourself. That makes you strong, rooted, and reliable. That's rare and extremely attractive. Now, the timing of this phrase matters. It's best used in moments when she's showing some level of decisiveness or leadership. Maybe she orders boldly at a restaurant. Maybe she confidently shares her opinion. Maybe she tells you what she's looking for in life. That's when you drop this line. You look her in the eye, you nod slightly and say it with quiet admiration. I like women who know what they want. Then pause. Let it sit. Don't follow it up with anything soft or apologetic. You're not saying it for her approval. You're just expressing what you value. And when you hold that line with calm energy, it creates a kind of emotional gravity. It pulls her toward you. It's also incredibly effective when she asks you what type of woman you're into. Most men would fumble and say things like, I don't really have a type, or someone who's nice, I guess. That's vague, forgettable. Instead, if you calmly respond with, I like women who know what they want, you do two things at once. You communicate strength and you spark a challenge. She'll now be measuring herself against your standard. And here's the key. Once you say it, act in alignment with it. If she's indecisive, insecure, or flaky, don't chase. Because if you chase someone who doesn't meet the standard you said out loud, your words lose weight. But if you stay grounded, calm, and consistent, she'll feel the difference. She'll sense that you're not just talking, you're living that standard. That's when the magic happens. She starts investing more in the conversation. She leans forward a little more. She opens up. She begins to want to be seen as the kind of woman who knows what she wants. And that's not manipulation, it's magnetism. It's a healthy dynamic where both people are stepping up to each other's energy, not playing games. So remember, don't speak to impress, speak to express your values. And this one simple phrase, "I like women who know what they want," will flip the script from you, chasing her to her, wondering how to keep your interest. Phrase 3, "That's what I like most about you." This might sound like a small phrase, but when you say it in the right moment, with the right energy, it becomes incredibly powerful. It's not just a compliment, it's something more. It makes her feel seen, really seen. And for most women, that kind of moment is rare. Emotional recognition doesn't happen often, and when it does, it sticks with them. Here's the truth. Most of the compliments women hear are about the outside. "You look beautiful." "I like your dress." "Your smile is amazing." Now, sure, those are nice things to hear, but they fade quickly. They don't leave a mark. Why? Because almost every guy says the same thing. It's easy to notice what's on the surface. But this line, "That's what I like most about you," goes deeper. It shows that you've been paying attention to something real, something beneath the surface, something that most men completely miss. It turns a regular moment into an unforgettable one. Let's break this down. Imagine she's talking about her life, not just what she does, but why she does it. Maybe her eyes light up when she talks about helping people. Or maybe she speaks with quiet strength about something she's passionate about. That's the moment. You slow down, you hold eye contact, you speak calmly and clearly. "That's what I like most about you." And then you say what you mean. The way you care so much. It's rare, it's real. And then stop talking. Let silence do the rest. That pause is everything. Because now you're not just complimenting her looks or trying to win her over. You're recognizing who she is. And when a woman feels understood, not just liked, she opens up, she relaxes, she becomes more real with you. And that creates connection. You've touched something deep, and she'll remember it. But here's the key. Don't overuse this phrase. Don't say it to every woman. Don't say it just to sound deep. Say it only when it's real. When she shows you her real self. When she's being kind without needing attention. Or when she shares a vulnerable story. Or when she speaks with quiet confidence. That's your moment. That's when you say, "That right there. That's what I like most about you." Say it like you mean it, not as a performance, but as a truth you just discovered. When you do that, the emotional effect is real. She feels a pull toward you because you didn't just look at her, you saw her. You showed her that what makes her truly valuable is something deep. Not her style, not her body, not even her words, but the spirit behind them. And that is something most men never do. Here's something powerful. When you say this phrase, you're not only complimenting her, you're also shaping how she sees herself. You're shining a light on the parts of her that matter. And maybe no one has ever done that before. That's the kind of moment that stays in her heart. That's what makes her think about you long after the conversation ends. So remember, the best kind of attraction is emotional. When you make her feel special for who she is, she won't forget it, and neither will you. That's what I like most about you. Simple words, deep impact. Phrase 4. You make things feel easy to talk about. This phrase might sound soft, but don't let that fool you. It's powerful. In fact, it taps into one of the deepest emotional needs most women have. The need to feel emotionally safe and free, to express themselves without being judged, rushed, or misunderstood. You see, women, just like men, carry a lot. Expectations, pressure, assumptions, past wounds. And in most conversations, especially with guys who are trying to impress, they often feel like they have to filter themselves, play a role, or hide what they really think. But when you look her in the eye and say, "You make things feel easy to talk about," you're doing something most men never do. You're validating not just what she's saying, but how she makes you feel, relaxed, present, open. And that flips the script. Because now, instead of her being the one working to earn your attention, you're showing that you value the energy she brings into the room, that you respect her presence, not just her looks or words. Let's go deeper. This phrase isn't just about comfort. It's about connection. When someone feels easy to talk to, it means your walls come down. And when you share that with her, you're not being weak. You're being real. And realness is attractive. Say this phrase when she's opened up, when the conversation flows effortlessly, when you feel that sense of, "I can be myself" around her. That's when it has maximum impact. You don't say it with a smirk. You say it with a calm, honest tone, like a quiet realization you just had. And when you do, something special happens. She feels safe. She feels valued. She feels seen, not for how she looks or what she does, but for the energy she brings into the moment. And that sticks with her. She'll think about that. She'll replay that sentence in her mind, asking herself, "Why does it feel so good to talk to him? Why do I feel more like myself when I'm with him?" That's emotional imprint. That's how you become unforgettable. Now, here's a tip. Don't over-explain it. Let your tone and timing carry the weight. Say it when you genuinely feel at ease with her. Maybe you just shared something personal. Maybe you're laughing freely. Maybe the conversation turned deep and it just felt natural. That's when you drop the line. You make things feel easy to talk about. Then pause. Let her take it in. And remember, this isn't a pickup line. It's a reflection of emotional awareness, the kind of awareness that separates a man who just talks from a man who connects. When she sees that you're not trying to impress, but instead you're present, curious, and grounded, that's when she starts opening up more. She'll start sharing things she usually keeps to herself. She'll trust you more. And when a woman trusts you emotionally, attraction flows naturally. So use this phrase. Use it when it's real. And say it not to get a reaction, but to give a moment of recognition, a moment of peace. That's what she'll remember. That's what she'll crave again. Phrase 5. There's something about the way you think that I really respect. This phrase hits on one of the most underrated forms of attraction, intellectual and emotional respect. Most men don't go there. They focus on appearance, energy, maybe personality. But the mind? That's rarely touched. And yet, it's the part that women most want to feel appreciated for, especially women who are thoughtful, driven, and self-aware. This phrase tells her something powerful. You're not just hearing her. You're listening. You're engaging with her thoughts, and you admire them. Let's break this down. When you say, "There's something about the way you think that I really respect," you're doing 3 key things at once. Key 1, you show depth. You're not just attracted to how she looks or acts. You're tuned in to how she sees the world. Key 2, you trigger curiosity. She'll immediately start thinking, "What part of my thinking did he mean?" What did I say that made him feel that? That mental loop keeps you in her head. Key 3. You position yourself as a high-value man because you're not seeking shallow validation. You're giving meaningful recognition. That's rare, and it makes her feel like you're rare too. This phrase works best in a moment where she's being thoughtful or expressing an opinion. Maybe she shares an idea about life, love, purpose, creativity, and she speaks with clarity or depth that catches your attention. That's when you lock eyes, not intense, not dramatic, but with calm presence, and you say, "There's something about the way you think that I really respect." Then you let it hang. Don't over-explain. Don't say, "Because you're smart," or "Because you remind me of my cousin who's also a deep thinker." That kills the power. Let the mystery do the work, because here's the magic. You didn't just compliment her intelligence. You complimented the vibe of her thoughts, the style of her mind. That makes her feel uniquely understood. And women, especially high-value women, remember the men who make them feel that way. She'll start to see you not as someone who's trying to win her over, but someone who's already worthy of her respect. And that changes the game. Here's a pro move. Use this phrase after she shares something personal, like a story from her past, a decision she made, or a worldview she holds. If she's thoughtful, intentional, and real, even if you disagree, that's your cue. Say it slow, say it steady, and say it only when you mean it. There's something about the way you think that I really respect. She may not show it right away, but inside she'll feel deeply acknowledged, not just noticed, but valued. And that, more than any line, any charm, any compliment, is what makes her come back to the conversation again and again. Because when a woman feels respected for her mind, not just her body or emotions, you create a bond that most men can't even imagine. One that doesn't fade the next day, one that echoes in her memory. So don't underestimate this phrase. Use it with intention and watch the connection shift from casual to compelling. Phrase 6. You don't have to try so hard with me. I like the real you. This phrase might be the most disarming one yet, not because it flatters, but because it frees. In a world where so many women feel the pressure to look perfect, sound perfect, be endlessly interesting or impressive, this phrase gives them permission to exhale. And that emotional exhale is where real connection lives. Most men, without realizing it, make women feel like they're being evaluated. Through body language, through compliments that only focus on looks, or by trying to impress back. But when you say, "You don't have to try so hard with me. I like the real you," you break that pattern. You offer safety, not weakness, but emotional safety. And that's magnetic. Here's why this works so powerfully. You're telling her that her unfiltered self is enough, maybe even more attractive than the version she thinks she has to present. And that's something very few women hear from a man they're interested in. She might be laughing extra loud, talking a little fast, trying to keep the vibe going. Or maybe she shows a flash of insecurity, trying to bounce back with charm. That's when you lean in with calm energy and say it. You don't have to try so hard with me. I like the real you. Say it with softness, not as a test, not to get something from her, just as a gentle truth. And what you'll see, almost instantly, is her body language change. She'll slow down, her smile will become more genuine, her voice might soften, because that wall, the one she didn't even know she was holding up, will start to come down. This phrase works because it signals something incredibly rare. You're not here to be entertained. You're here to connect. You don't need a polished performance. You're drawn to the parts of her that feel unfiltered, the messy laugh, the passionate rants, the offbeat stories. And here's the beauty of it. When she believes that you see value in her real self, she begins to show you more of it. That builds trust, and trust builds desire on a level no pickup line ever could. But here's the key. Only say this when the moment is honest, when you actually feel like you're seeing through the mask a little. If she's performing or acting a little and then drops into something real, that's your cue. And don't overuse it. If you say this to everyone, or if you force it too early, it sounds fake. But when it's sincere and your energy matches your words, she will remember that moment forever. Because very few people, let alone men, ever say, "You're enough just as you are." So what does this phrase actually do? It lowers defenses, it builds emotional safety, it creates a shared space where real connection can grow. And in that space, attraction becomes effortless, because she's not trying to win your attention anymore. She's just being and feeling like that's finally enough. That's when the connection stops feeling like a game and starts feeling like something real. Now you have something most men never will. The words that touch a woman not on the surface but deep inside. These 6 phrases aren't lines to impress. They're keys. Keys to connection, emotion, and trust. Because once you stop chasing approval and start speaking with intention, everything changes. You're no longer guessing what works. You're leading with presence. You're not just saying words. You're creating moments she won't forget. Remember, it's not about trying to sound smart or smooth. It's about being real, calm, and grounded. Say less, but mean more. Speak with confidence, not noise. That's what pulls her in. That's what makes her feel something different with you, something real. And now, I want to ask you one thing. If this video helped you see things differently, if you learned something today that could shift how you connect with women, support this channel. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a like if you felt the message. Leave a comment below telling me which phrase hit you the hardest, or better yet, which one you're going to try this week. And share this with a man you care about, because too many guys are still out here guessing, struggling, and getting it wrong. When you support this channel, you're helping build a space where emotional intelligence meets real attraction. No games, no manipulation, just truth, growth, and confidence. This is Stoic Pro, and we don't just talk about becoming better men, we live it. So until next time, keep your standards high, your words intentional, and your energy calm. The right woman will feel it, and she won't forget you.